So pre-surgery, I went to a naturopathic oncologist. He works with oncology patients, many of whom are on chemo in Portland, and he gave me a regimen to start prior to surgery. And I'm just going to show you a few things that I was taking prior to surgery. I'm not back to taking these now because I can't swallow very well pills. But this is kind of an anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, getting your gut system ready to go. Some of the stuff that I was taking. So curcumera, which is like turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory and helps to fight cancer. Grapeseed extract. I'm not sure why I'm taking that, but anyway, I was taking it because he said it would be good for me. I'll look into that. And then vitamin D, because I was very low on vitamin D prior to this process. And I tell you what, if you live anywhere where you don't have a lot of sun in the winter, this is fantastic because it really helps with your mood. It helps adjust everything. So I should have started that years ago. And then this L-glutamine powder, which is supposed to be really good for your digestive tract. It just helps to get your everything kind of in good working order. I haven't started back on a lot of these, like I said, because I'm having a hard time swallowing these things. But probiotics are always a good idea for your intestinal tract. Just vitamins, multivitamins, which actually I was taking. And then this is First Intention, which is it's like power-packed vitamins he recommended to start taking a week before the surgery. Now again, I'm not telling you need to do this. I'm not a doctor. I'm nothing like that. I'm just telling you what I did prior to it. So you might want to consider seeing someone who can help your whole body get strong prior to the surgery. And as for that, I highly recommend a couple of things. If you're in bad shape, you're going to want to make your surgery far enough out to give you time to exercise, get yourself strong, get your upper body strong, get your legs strong before you do the surgery. If you have a time period that you can do that, because there is a lot of, you're going to get weak after the surgery. If you're stronger before you go in, it's going to be a lot easier to move yourself around, to get up, to move, because you're going to continue to lose muscle, as I understand, for a while until it all kind of evens out and you stop losing weight. So if you're at all in bad shape, do yourself a favor. Start something, walking, lifting little weights, walking with weights. Start slowly. You don't want to, blow out within the first week, but come up with some sort of regimen. You are going to thank yourself on the other end of this. I don't know how people who are not weak, not people who are already weak, maybe people who have been sick, this would be a very difficult surgery for them to go through. So if you can, try to do that before you schedule your surgery. What else would I recommend? Oh, a couple things that I read, and I did, is some people think you should do a bone density test prior to the surgery so that you have a baseline to test yourself later on, because, calcium absorption can be an issue. You want to make sure that you can stave off any sort of osteoporosis by tracking it. So baseline, bone density test. You want to do a baseline CBC, complete blood count, just to see where your baseline is. That way, if your minerals and your vitamins and everything are kind of going all over the place, you'll know what you need to beef up and what is the way it was before surgery. And those were two. Oh, if you're female, you're going to want to do, and I highly recommend, a breast MRI versus a mammogram. Everybody's got their preference, but I feel like the MRI is less invasive and probably more revealing than a mammogram. I'll tell you a story, just anecdotally. My sister, when they first found the lump in her breast 3 years ago, she could barely feel anything. It was the physician that felt it, and then the physician sent her for a mammogram. After her mammogram, my sister said that the tumor was obvious and she could feel it very easily. She felt like it had, kind of gotten a lot bigger after the mammogram. And I've heard that story from multiple people. So, again, not a physician. You make your decision, but it's something worth taking into consideration. But you're going to want that done first, so that you make sure that you're not dealing with something in the breast before you do a prophylactic gastric surgery, because that would be your priority. The other thing is you're going to need to do an upper endoscopy with some biopsies before you do your surgery. I'm assuming most surgeons are going to want this, just to make sure that there's nothing obvious in there. And the other thing that I did is a colonoscopy. I just wanted to get that done and out of the way. I'm 51, and I just wanted to do as much screening as I could before I went into this surgery. It's kind of like house cleaning, just making sure everything's okay. In fact, before you go into surgery, you're going to want to do that too. You're going to want to make sure that everything is, that like those old projects that you need to get done, but you just haven't had the time. Try to find the time to get those done, because you're not going to really feel like doing much. I mean, I'm 3 weeks out, and I'm still not feeling like doing a whole lot. I mean, I'm trying to, but in terms of like spring cleaning or getting the gunk out of the refrigerator, or, that pile of mail that needs to be addressed, try to do that before you go in for surgery. That seems pretty obvious, but I knew I wasn't going to be feeling spunky, but I thought that maybe I would be able to do a little bit more than I'm doing at this point. So what else? Recruit help before you go in. So we were in New York. I was in the hospital for a week, and then had a week in the hotel. Had lots of friends, fortunately, on the East Coast who were able to come visit, which made it perfect. When I got home, everybody went back to work and back to school. So that was 2 weeks out from surgery last weekend. And it was tough, but fortunately a friend was able to come stay with us for a few nights and help clean and cook dinner and take care of stuff that I wasn't able to take care of. And that made all the difference in the world. Just 2.5 days, 2 nights of helping out. Try to set that stuff up before you go. If you have kids, you definitely try to do that, because you're not going to feel like, I'm assuming you're not going to feel like cooking, taking care of stuff like that. So trying to think of anything else that was helpful prior to surgery. If I think of something, I'll let you know.